Hey folks, what's up? So it's Friday night, just got paid. I'm not going to sing the rest of the song because I'm not going to do it justice. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about a couple of reviews for comics. I've got the question. What is the question? The question is, how good was the question? I'll tell you. I've got some news about one of my favorites, and somebody who I think is really cool, getting a new gig, which is awesome, and I'm really enjoying seeing it. Hearing it, I guess I should say. And a couple of moments that we're going to talk about this week. I'll get into it. You ready to have some fun? All right. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Let's go. Hey folks, what's up? And welcome to another episode of The Hungry Bleak Show. I am Antonio Pomares, aka The Hungry Bleak, the hungriest man in your room, and I am your geek culture analyst, reviewer, I don't know, whatever else you want to call me. I am host of The Hungry Bleak Show. Obviously, I'm co-host of TBA News with Robert, Ashley, and Michael. Shout out to them. They always make me look good. And also co-host of Cultural POV with Calvin and Mariah, who also make me look good as well. Thank you so very much. So let me start off by asking, how are you doing? How was work? I get it. This week was like that for me as well. How the family, loved ones, they do that sometimes, but we got to know that that's how they gonna be. They gonna be how they gonna be. You feel me? So the week, this show actually had a different tone to it before the events of this week. Very thought-provoking week for me, and I'll get into it a little bit later. But right now, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have maybe a couple of laughs. Maybe I'll tell a joke that you'll get. Maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. Cool. All right, cool. Bet. So let's go with some comic book news first. So, everyone's favorite fanboy fighter, Fantastic Frankie, has a new gig, which is awesome, and it is the DC Studios showcase, which is an official podcast for DC. It will be Frankie Smith doing her incredible thing, and I think this is going to be awesome. Just look at this alone is like, oh, you know what? Black woman front and center. Yes, I want to check this out. What's going on? And I'm thinking that jersey too. That jersey is the business. I might have to see if I can get that jersey, or maybe like a different color. See if they have any other heroes. That's awesome though, bro. But yeah, this is Frankie Smith. It's gonna be Tyler Coates. And also they're gonna be joined by Coy Jandreau. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't think I am, but apologies for butchering your name. So they are going to be talking about all the stuff going on in DC, and the whole brand. DC, I'm going to say this for real. I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but DC has taken a lot of L's when people think about it, as far as like between the heated rivalry between Marvel and DC. People keep going, oh well, one's better than the other. I just like comics, what have you. But DC has been stepping it up more and more. We have shows like The Penguin that just came out this week. Also, we have Creature Commandos, which is an animated series, which is actually the start of James Gunn's DC universe proper. This is a start, and he's starting out with an animated series, which some people are like, oh, I don't know about that, or even the fact that it's more of an ensemble piece than a solo project. I think this is okay. Run it, do it, good. This is cool. I have no issue with this at all. DC has done a great job with their podcasters following things. I really enjoyed the Penguin podcast. I thought that was great. Well, it was a phenomenal show to begin with, and then being able to get all of the behind the scenes talks where or behind the scenes thoughts and the process of everything, being able to speak with cast and crew of that show was really great, was very enlightening as well. And it was done very well. The podcast was done very well. I have no doubt that this will be an incredible feature. This is going to be bi-weekly, and I think this is just uh, another just incredible feat for Frankie doing this. I got to meet Frankie very briefly, and it was awesome for me. For her, it was probably like just a Tuesday. Some people will get that joke, some people won't. It's fine, doesn't matter. It was after the cross panel, and I happened to see Frankie from the side. And I think Frankie might have been smiling. Frankie has a very big smile, as you can tell from the picture, so it's very noticeable. And I was like, I think that's Frankie, and also the hair, just amazing hair. So I was like, I think that's Frankie, and I was with Michael, and I was like, oh, and I was like, excuse me, are you Frankie? Yes. I was, oh, big fan of yours. Everything you do is really cool, great. So this is no surprise at all. Doing this incredible podcast for Max and DC. This is incredible. Congratulations. This is going to be an awesome project that I really do want to follow. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I just don't want to hear them. Because it's just a lot of guys just yammering about nothing. But I do want to check this out because I want to see what's ahead for DC, what they have planned, and maybe some behind the scenes things of hearing how things are going. We've always had talks about WB and Discovery, but like I said, DC has been, they had to fall back a lot, regroup, and then come back with these projects and between comics and Max and everything. So I want to see what they're going to be doing. I'm excited for this. Congratulations to Frankie. I think it's awesome. I'm here for it. And that is all for news, really. I didn't even have any plans to do news until I saw that, and I was like, that I got to talk about that. Got to give props, got to give respect, because it's an awesome thing to be able to do, especially in the age where podcasts are prevalent. It's very, it's a big pool. It's a huge pool. It's an ocean, really. So to have that and to be doing something that you love and that you're fortunate enough to be passionate about what you're doing is amazing. So congratulations. So next up, we've got Kickstarters. Okay, so first up, we have got the comic shop. Yes, I'm going to talk about this again because I think this is an incredible feat and it's something awesome and great. So we have 10 days, and we are at $70,000. $70,074. That's a huge amount of money. That's great. We've got 10 days to fund this. It is a workplace mockumentary sitcom comedy in the vein of Abbott Elementary, which we all love now. It just went up. Jeez, it just went up. So it's now $70,124. Congratulations. They have 658 backers now. That's awesome. Congratulations to them. This is a project that definitely needs to be done. Doing a workplace comedy, especially the mockumentary style, which is absolutely needed in a comic book shop, is the perfect way to do it. And to have a cast as diverse as we have here, and for it to be created, written, and produced, and the lead actress to be all the same person, to be a Black queer woman is incredible. Cheyenne has just been working and grinding and killing it. Another Black woman out here doing it and doing it incredibly. The epitome of excellence. Doing this. This is a project. Yes, let's get this funded. They have so many options you can have for the tiers as well. I think a lot for creators, for like indie creators. I think this will be great because you can even maybe have your comic on the shelf, even be seen. I believe there were tiers where you could be an extra. You can have a walk-on role. I think there was one that even had maybe a line. So check the tiers out. It's awesome. Let's get this going. I want this so bad. I want to be able to watch this on a streaming service every week or binge episodes all at one time. I truly do because I believe in it. I think it's awesome. And it's one of those things that, damn, I'm not even showing a picture. What the hell, man? It's been a long week, folks. I apologize. But it's one of those things that is great. Yeah, so you see it's at $70,124, 650 backers. That is not a small feat at all. There are a lot of great tiers, like I've said. but it just looks like when I've watched the clips and I've watched the trailer, it just looks like it was a really fun and a cool project to work on, as well as being a passion project and something that is needed, and that's really cool. So I'm here for it. Yeah, let's get it funded and let's go, folks. We all want something different. We keep complaining about reboots and remakes, and as a former colleague of mine would say, a remake of beautification. Then let's go with something new. Let's go with something fresh. Let's go with something that's awesome. And we all do love the mockumentary style stuff because, I mean, The Office, Parks and Rec, uh, Abbott Elementary. There's another one out recently. I believe it's called. It's about a hospital. Can't remember the name of it. It even stars on David Allen Greer. So yes, this is awesome. Let's do this one, and let's get it done. All right. Next one up is also another one that I've spoken about quite often, which is Terminus Veil. This is going to be for issue 5, 6, and Badia's Gambit. Paramilitary action, kind of a spy thriller kind of a thing, action packed, great tension, not just on the battlefield, but also in those rooms where those conversations happen, which can conduct what happens on the battlefield. What this is, yeah, I've enjoyed reading 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I know I'm going to get to enjoy reading 5, 6, and I really want to read Badia's Gambit. That was awesome. Now, this has been funded, which is great. Awesome. Congratulations to everyone who worked on the title. Jack, your crew is amazing. But folks, keep it going with the funding, because the more that you put in, the more we're going to get out of it. They may even add some extra things, maybe another tier, possibly more little add-ons to the tiers even too. But the fact that we're going to be able to get this comic, well, actually all 3 of these comics, excuse me, and that they're funded is incredible. And I'm so happy that it's happening, but keep it pushing. That's what we need. That's what we want. That's what we got to have. That's what we've got to have, folks. And that is all of the Kickstarters that we have for this week. There's a lot out there. There's always something out there to read or watch or what have you. So I always try to give a little bit of a spotlight to a couple of Kickstarters. And those are 2 that I feel are definitely hitting the spot right now. Much like that tea in this great Keith Cross mug. Day Black Merce, you know what it is. I had to take another hit of that tea. That tea it's something about drinking tea out of a Black creator's mug that just warms my soul. I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, so let's go with some comic book reviews. How does that sound? Sound good? As I got a nice little tableau of comics. Did I just really say tableau? Did I? Kind of bougie of me, isn't it? Isn't it a little bougie of me? Is it? That's fine. So we've got a nice little mix of comics. We've got comics about people with powers. We've got comics about a former police detective who is now amongst basically almost like gods. We have a comic about heaven and hell, and we've got a comic about a young hero trying to figure out what's going on. Let's start it out, shall we, folks? So first one we've got is the Power Fantasy, which I love. This one was really cool and unexpected. I just happened to buy it on a lark. Did not expect it to be what it was, and I loved it. This is out of Image. Excuse me. The cover. First off, that cover. Oof. Yeah, jeez. Oof. I hope one day to have a beard as illustrious as this. This is like Michael's beard. Michael's beard is very strong. Muy fuerte. You know, his Michael's beard is in fuego. I don't know why I keep saying Spanish. I don't know. I don't know, because I love it. So as we can see, this is written by Kieran Gillen. Art is by Casper Wengard. Basically, the story of this is there are 6 people on a planet who have superpowers, and basically they're the ones that are saving the world by not using their powers. by not using their powers, because each of them is basically like a nuclear weapon. And if they use their powers, everything is done, gone, finito, poof. And it becomes this story about people having the strength to not use their powers, and the games that are played, politically, psychologically, and the will of and the restraint to not use your powers is incredible to me. I know I would not survive that. It would just wouldn't happen. But it has happened a couple of times, and they were actually saved from it becoming this huge situation and world damaging. That's the story of power fantasy. The art is beautiful. I absolutely love it. First off, look at, I mean, just y'all know how I feel about women. I love women. Women are beautiful, amazing creatures, in all shapes, forms, sizes. Um, but there is just something about a strong woman and the shoulders and the muscle, especially in comics, actually seeing someone draw a character like that. They could be muscular, but they can also have the softness and the curves, but still be these strong figures, even be taller than men, that they may be in a relationship with or friends with, what have you. And there's not that weird awkwardness of having having the male character be insecure, or the female character be insecure because they're taller and they feel like awkward because they're overshadowing the man or what have you. No, believe me, some of us short men do not have a problem with tall women. Just gonna say that. Anyway, so that's what I love about the art. I also love the tones of the colors, and how, like in this scene, you can see how the background of the color and the kind of almost violets and blues almost are muted, but then still show up so beautifully in the scene. It's just I'm not sure how to describe it, but it the scenery falls back, but also shows up at the same time. It's beautiful. And we start the story in 1966, and then we jump forward to 1999 New York, and the story goes from there about how they're trying to figure out what what these powers mean, and not being able to use them, and how the world can survive. So you actually get kind of a time jump between two different times, between uh 66 and 99, which I love. Also, the fact that we're just this beautiful array of characters, and obviously because it's set in New York, obviously, yeah. So you're going to get that beautiful tableau of different shades of skin tones. Power fantasy is one that I have to continue reading because it's awesome. Like I said, I read the first issue and it was a lark. I was like, oh, I was not expecting this to be like this, and it totally blew my mind. So yes, I'm going to continue reading this because I'm loving this story, the intrigue, and I want to know what's going to happen in the future of this, and what made 1999 the year it is from 1966. Great. So yes, this is one definitely to read, is the Power Fantasy Out of Image. All right. So the next one we got is The Question. This is out of DC, obviously. And this is The Question, All Along the Watchtower. Love that song. So it's cool. This is a really new one. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a mini series. I'm not sure. But I really want to check this out because it just looks so awesome. And I'm excited to see where they go with this. See if I can. Nope, I cannot. No, it will not let me do that. Awesome. So this is written by Alex. My eyes are failing me tonight because it is late and I just can't figure this out. We'll get to the end and I will show you. So basically, The Question is a mantle that's been handed down. Actually, the original Question was one of the best characters ever. If you ever watch Justice League Unlimited, you have a great handling of the Question, a detective, someone who constantly asking questions. The original Question was a reporter at one time, but now we have the former detective Montoya. We all fell in love with her from Batman the Animated Series, the original series, years ago. She becomes a new Question after the original Question dies. She's a disgraced police officer. She no longer has her relationship with Batwoman, who she was with for quite a while. but she has a new job now. She is a kind of guardian, let's say, to the Justice League on 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 the Watchtower. She's there for a simple thing. She has to figure out what's going on the Watchtower because they feel like something's wrong, something's not right, especially after the incident with everything with All In. Basically, with All In, DC, metahumans lost their powers, then gained their powers back. Some of their powers work the same. Some of them are a little bit weaker. Some of them are a little bit stronger. And some of them, their powers are completely different than what they originally were. I'm getting into it a bit between reading The Question and also reading Black Lightning. I think I want to read more of that and what happened. I'm also reading Absolute Wonder Woman, which is, oof, my goodness gracious. I do want to read Absolute Spider-Man as well. Excuse me, Absolute Superman. But we find out she's got this new gig, and first off, I love her outfit, very very like Western feeling, which is kind of the feel of this comic. Like she's been brought into this town to figure out what's going on and to rustle up some varmints. I apologize for that. That sounded way dumb for me to even say. And we find that she's going to have a team as well that she didn't really know about. So first members of her team to help her investigate what's going on with the Watchtower is the Blue Beetle. Both of them, Jaime Reyes and Ted Cord. Didn't know Ted Cord was alive. Didn't know that he was brought back. Had no idea. Cool. Which I absolutely love. And the Question begins to realize meets her team as she's being escorted around by Wonder Woman. And she has a question about the Challengers. Who are they? The Challengers of the Unknown. They're a group of people that have been around for a while. They're going to play into this somehow because they're getting a series as well. But they're always around the Watchtower. You'll always see one of them there, which is very interesting to me. The other part that we find out about is that she's going to be having a field agent as part of her team as well. She's like, oh, who's that? Turns out it's going to be Batwoman. So we're going to get that conflict of the Question of Batwoman. Can they work together and coexist? And how do you deal with working with someone who you are still in love with, but the relationship isn't there? I don't know. I'm excited to see that. I've wanted to read a Montoya story for a while, just never got the chance to. But now I have that chance. So I want to go back and read some, but I may even want to go back and read some of the old Question stuff too. I think I maybe read a couple of things, what have you. But as she's realizing who her team, well, learning who her team is and what's going to be going on in the Watchtower, she is attacked by a big android type character, and they have to figure out what happened, what made that happen. And then we also find out that one of the challengers has been murdered, or at least let's say is dead, probably murdered though. So we're getting like a bit of a murder mystery type of thing, which is perfect for the Question, because the Question being a detective and having that background, I'm excited for this. And the art is incredible. I absolutely love the art. It feels right for this superhero sci-fi outer space Western kind of feel to it. If that makes any sense. I don't know if it does. It does to me. So the next one is Hornsby and Halo. This is out of Image. Wow, who would have guessed that? And this is out of the Ghost Machine line. This one was a bit of a difference for me. I'm going to be honest with you. So, excuse me. Whoops. So we've got, this is from Peter J. Tomasi and Peter Snedberg. I hope I pronounced your name properly. I don't think I did, and I apologize. We have John Calise, Rob Leho. Excuse me. This book was really cool to me. Basically, this is the story of heaven and hell. You can almost think of this. You can almost see that they got a little bit of a new gods from this as well. This is a story about heaven and hell, but it also talks about nature versus nurture. Heaven and hell want to stop their war. They want to stop this whole thing that's been going on for eons. So what they do is one of the children from heaven and one of the children from hell are sent to earth. The child from hell is sent to an extremely loving, gentle, nurturing incredible family. The child from heaven is sent to a family that ain't so good. They're a little morally gray, let's say. What can happen? Hijinks ensue, right? So we follow as they say they're tired of this war, so they make this deal, they make this pledge, and they each go to a different family. And they grow up actually in the same school and everything. And how they begin to act. And we catch them as they're becoming like teenagers, which is the worst time to try to be morally anything, good or bad, truthfully, because you're in your teens is the worst time. Worst time. And we begin to see that they both are exhibiting little different things. Like Halo, who is the boy, that's his nickname. Actually, no, that's his last name. Has a little bit of a nasty streak in him. Not I want to say nasty, but a bit of a bad streak in him. Where Hornsby, who is the girl with the red hair, is kind of nice and sweet, but still has that, don't mess with me kind of vibe to her. But the kids do mess with her. They bully her a bit, even mess up her art book. So one night, they both fall asleep, and their true natures are awakened, and they go out as these two men are grave robbing. Halo, you can see embodies like a light blue angel looking feel, but isn't used to the powers yet and ends up getting struck by lightning. That was actually kind of funny. Hornsby, who is the more hellish child, seems like I have a better grasp on their powers. And then they are both wake up in the middle of the night, and they wake up in the morning and they're like, oh my God, what a dream, is crazy. But then they realize they have the things here that they actually took. Like Halo has the sword in the hand that he took from the statue as he was trying to stop the grave robbers. And Hornsby has the backpack there from the night before in the graveyard as well. I think this is going to be kind of cool. I kind of want to see where this goes. I like things that are between heaven and hell, light and dark, the two opposing sides joining forces, either knowingly or unknowingly, to stop whatever it is or to just coexist. That's always interesting to me. So yes, I will be checking this out. And this is Hornsby and Halo. Now, this was going to be it for my reviews. I was going to be done and I was going to walk off. But then I said, oh, wait. I just got something an email about something. A Kickstarter comic came in and I was like, oh, okay, let me check this out. Let me read this. And I said, oh, this is dope. This is one that I'm really enjoying. So this is Wolfsbane from Steel Magnus Studios. Okay, so this one was actually really cool. I really enjoyed the hell out of this. First off, I got to show you the cover. The cover is just, I absolutely love the cover. The cover was just so beautiful. It reminded me of like stained glass, but then also, you know how anime characters, especially I want to say Sailor Moon, and I want to go with Gotcha Man or Battle of the Planets. Them when they're transforming into their suits, you'll see like the twinkle of stars by them. The cover looks like it's a freeze frame of one of them changing, and I love that look. I love that freeze frame of just being able to see. It's almost like somebody took a picture of them doing it, and I love that. And this is from Brandon Thompson, Corey Carrion, and Cy Vandeville. This is awesome. Storyboards for 19 through 27 or Quan Zhang. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing our names properly. And letters design, Liquid Squids. And the variant cover, which I believe I will be getting in the mail, is from Haruka. Hope I'm pronouncing that properly. So we open up with this young man. He is just in the middle of nowhere, doesn't know where he's at, doesn't know what happens. Somebody's walking up on him. This guy's nose named Marcus. We don't know what's going on here, but it feels like kind of a frenemy, almost kind of a thing. And then we notice that there's a change in his attire. He looks like he's wearing an armored suit, and then done. The young man's name is Argo, and that was his dream from the night before. And so he's got to get up. He's late for school, and it's him trying to figure out. And now he's being raised by his uncle, which I love the design of the uncle too, because it looks like an uncle that, like, that you would see at the cookout, who might be on the grill tearing it up, and just everybody is like, "Yo, I don't care what happens. If we go into that barbecue, we got to get him on the grill." Unc was killing it, and that's what he honestly looks like, that kind of guy, which I love. So he's late for school, and this is also in Washington, D.C. Big up to DMV. I know some of y'all out there are doing your thing there, and I appreciate y'all as always. One day I hope to be a part of the DMV, truthfully. So we see this, the character, and he's like, you know what? I got a quicker way to get to school. And he starts running along the rooftops, almost like doing parkour. I love parkour. Seeing it in comics is beautiful, especially when it's done in almost like an anime manga style, which is similar to what this comic looks like. This comic looks like it was almost made by like Studio Trigger, which is not an insult at all. That's because I love Studio Trigger. I love sometimes how it's exaggerated and so bright and full and just engrossing. I actually love that about Studio Trigger. That's why I really dig them. So that's a huge compliment for me. And as he's going to school, he's like, he witnesses this thing jump out of this boy, and we don't know what it is. This monster looking worm thing. It turns out to be this huge big creature. But Aragon is also ready because he has this suit of like armor on him that when he uses it, he looks almost like a wolf, almost like a shadow wolf, the way his face is and everything, which I love. So he's a young hero trying to figure out where he's at in his life. Figuring out the powers that he has as well, but we don't know what's going on with this Marcus character because we only get to see them at that point. So as Aragon is fighting this creature, and he realizes, wait, I did that in front of people. They might see me. My mask wasn't up. I have to be very, very careful. Run from the scene, put the hood up. You all know how much I love a hood. Throwing it up, and I'm out. And gets to be the fact that we notice that people are noticing him. People notice that he has powers. People notice that. Not everyone's saying it, but there are a couple of people who were watching him deliberately on there. Not going to go any further, but I think this book is beautiful. I love the mix of, again, being a young superhero, going to school, trying to balance those two lives out, sometimes making the mistake of using your powers and not taking into full effect the fact that someone might be able to see your face. You're just rushing to try to save someone or stop this evil thing from happening. I'm a fan of this. I happened to see Wolfsbane on IG really quick, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh, damn, yeah, I gotta check that out. So I had to run and go and check it out because it's an awesome book. So yes, I'm not sure when it's available, but if you have the chance, check out Wolfbane. I love it. I talked a couple weeks ago about not seeing a lot of Black folks and wolves or as werewolves or what have you. And now I've got 2 comics back to back that were giving me that. And I'm feeling it. I'm loving it. I'm going for it. That's what's up. And folks, those are the reviews for this week. Did you like anything? Did you not like anything? Let me know. If there's something that you want me to review, ask me and I will check it out. And if it hits all the notes, if it has all the bells and whistles, if I kick the tires and it still rides, I'll run up the flagpole to see, and I don't know, I'm just making up a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I would love to do that. So let me know about that, please. So, folks, it's that time of the show. You already know. Let me ask you, how are you doing? Did you eat? Did you drink water? How are you feeling? Did you take your meds? I'm not asking to police you. I'm asking because I want you to be the best you that you can be. And that means you taking your meds for whether it's a physical, mental, or emotional ailment. I want you to be the best you that you can be because it's important. You can't pour into something if you're empty. I'm learning that more and more every day. What's something that I've learned to do to help me with coping and um, interacting with people? It's like something that someone spoke to me at about my job. Spoke to me at my job about too. We were having kind of like a self, like giving yourself a performance rating and seeing how you felt you were doing and communicate. It took me a while to realize that communicating is not just talking. It's not. Communicating is listening. Communicating is hearing the other person as well. Communicating is not responding just to respond or not listening to respond. It's listening to understand. It's listening because you want to know what's going on with the other person and vice versa. And it's you communicating and learning how to communicate with that person. Not just love languages, but just everyday stuff. A couple years ago, someone and I had I thought it was just a discussion. They said it was an argument. Even that was odd because when I've had arguments, they have been shouting and cussing and name calling and things like that. Where this person said this was an argument, and we were both talking. We were both very, we were upset. We were angry to a certain extent and hurt. And we were trying to communicate, but we weren't there yet because the first time I have that type of conversation, that type of interaction. So we had to almost explain how we communicate and learning from that and learning to do that. That's a very important thing. When you learn to do that with someone, you relax your shoulders because you know that you can talk to that person how you need to. And you won't become so flustered, and you'll be able to truly communicate your feelings, how you feel, and you'll be able to understand how the other person feels. And if you don't, you can ask that question and not feel any negative repercussion. You can say, okay, you saying that doesn't mean that you feel like this, and this. And they can go, yeah, that's how I feel. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Learn to communicate. Whether you learn it through therapy, whether you learn it through just talking to people, whether you learn it through practicing in the mirror, whether you learn it through thinking back on past events and going, oh, this person meant boom, 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 and not doom, doom, doom. At my job, I'm very quiet. I don't talk very much. I do my job, and that's about it. And I always tell people I'm quiet. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It's just how I am. I just like to get in and do my work. And never take it as me being rude. I'm always here to help if you need something, what have you. And everyone there knows that. But I decided to kind of change that because I'm like, I don't want even my face is very deadpan. That's kind of why I liked wearing the mask so much because I didn't have to explain my face. It's a very odd sentence to say, but yeah. If you know me and you met me, you know sometimes my face does not convey what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. It doesn't. So I'm learning to communicate like that with them, not going out of how I normally feel, but just saying, okay, just to make it easier so they can actually see what's happening with me, what's going on, anything like that. So that's how it is in life. Learn to communicate and everything will be a bit easier for you. But learn to communicate to understand where the other person is coming from, but also learn to communicate so you can convey how you're feeling, what you're thinking properly so that person will be able to understand so there won't be so many um misunderstandings. And if there are, you can say, oh, okay, well, I thought it was this, and this. Makes things a lot easier. Believe me, a lot easier. And there you go. So, all right. So I've got one more. This is for a Flashback Friday. I know, right? Who thought that was going to happen? Wow. And this is for one called Valen the Outcast, which I have to actually reread. This is out of Boom Studios. This one is an older one. I remember reading this a while back, and for some reason, it just jumped into my head. This is about a dead king. There you go. Written by Michael Allen Nelson, art by Matteo Scalera. Big surprise, one of my favorite artists. This is kind of a sword and sorcerer, barbarian kind of a thing, where a warrior is killed. Excuse me. I apologize, folks. And he ends up becoming king, but he's also an outcast because it's almost like a zombie king, which I love the thought of there being a king like that and being such an incredible fighter and warrior. This was just something that I just picked because I thought, hey, I have done a Flashback Friday pick in a while, and I have not, excuse me, and I have not read that comic in years, and it's one I want to go back and reread and then jump into. So, yeah, that is Valen, and I didn't show y'all none of that because I am the worst person possible in the history of the world. Yeah, so like I said, it's a sword and sorcerer. Matteo Scalera has always been one of my favorite artists. Even these were the variant covers, I believe, for the first issue. But you can just look at it. Obviously, sword and sorcerer, barbarian stuff. You're going to be getting swords and axes and blood and guts and horses, and it's going to be cold. And somebody's going to have a big animal fur on their back at one point. Somebody's going to be eating some type of big leg of meat. They're going to be eating it. They're going to have big mugs of ale and stuff like that. That's what happens in barbarian sword and sorcerer. And there's going to be scantily clad women probably with their bosoms out with swords and knives, and somebody's got a shield, and there's a bard somewhere. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so that's what that is. So there you go. So those are my picks for comics. Check them out. Always let me know what you think, what you would like to read, what's on your tablet or your bookshelf. It's awesome. It's great. So we got to go with what's in my cup. Normally, I go with what's on my plate, but I went out to eat, but I went to Sophie's. Y'all already know how much I love Sophie's. Oh my God. I had pulled turkey with the juices. I had rice and beans. I had steamed vegetables. And I had the cheesecake from Magnolia Bakery. Y'all already know what it is. I've talked about this before, but earlier in the day, I happened to be in New York because I was picking up some art for a birthday present for someone. These really great journals, and I was picking them up from one of my favorite artists and people and friend of the show, Shanae Williams, who is an incredible artist, one of the best clanmates possible, and guardians. I was picking up some art from her, and I was like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to be in New York next week because I got to pick some stuff up, and I got to go to this place called Brooklyn Tea. And she's like, oh, that's near where I used to live. I said, bet. She said, bet. All right, so I had to go to Brooklyn Tea. When I tell you, I was I was in love, smitten instantly. I ain't had a crush in years. It was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Brooklyn Tea, which is in Brooklyn. Brooklyn. I feel like Brooklyn, it doesn't count if you just say Brooklyn. If you say Brooklyn, you have to go Brooklyn. Like you have to do that as well for some reason. I feel like you have to. I feel like that's a necessity to do it. So Brooklyn Tea is a black-owned tea shop. You already know, but I didn't realize that it was like a place where you could actually sit and drink and enjoy. I did not realize that they have a plethora of teas as well. They have a nice little outside area where you can sit, but you can also sit inside and drink if you want. They can serve the tea hot. I went in there and bought some tea for myself. Y'all already know how I am. I went and I got my tea. Obviously, I didn't drink any tea there because I was already teed up because I had some tea earlier. But they have an incredible. They have a subscription that you can do for different teas, which I think is incredible. I think that is just dastardly work, truthfully. They also have all the different teas that they have. They've got black and pu'er. They've got green and white. They've got oolong. They've got rooibos and herbal. They've got seasonal. They've got staff picks too are great. Because I went in and I was like, okay, well, this is what I drink. And they're like, okay, cool. This is what we've got that's comparable. First off, walked in. It was black. Loved it. You could smell the shea butter, and moisturized skin in there. It was beautiful. I loved it. Went to the counter, and these incredible young Black women were back there, and they were just doing their thing, and they were able to help me out so well with the tea, which I loved. And I'm like, damn, I'm in the middle of Brooklyn in this cool shop, Black women talking about tea. The only way this could get better is if y'all had cheesecake and waffles. That's the only way that this could be better. Only way. Uh, they were very knowledgeable about everything. And I was so happy to see they had a really great menu, which they could show you everything that was in there. They had merchandise for a sale there. Let me just go to some of the teas that they have. The pricing is great. I love the whole merchandising as well. The little pouches of the teas, I'll show you after we're done with this. They were like, oh, well, this is what this tea is like, if you want to open up and smell it. I smelled it and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. It was just so amazing. The aromas of the different teas hit like just beautiful. Just amazing stuff. Wait, they got apple cider tea? A cold killer? I might end up ordering some tea tonight. I done messed up. They had everything from chamomile to chai to ashwagandha, which is what I got just because of anxiety. So it was very nice to have, because I take anxiety herbally, like an herbal pill, but I also like the tea because it was more of a ritual to me. So it helped with the anxiety, which is, like that helps with anxiety, is doing like an actual ritual. It helps a lot. But they also have like cream Earl Grey, Kyoto Cherry Rose, vanilla, which is what I got. I believe that's the one I got. The vanilla. I think I may have got that. Yeah. But they have so many different things here. So they have 2 locations. They have the one I went to was obviously in Brooklyn, which was in 411 Lewis Ave, but they're also in Atlanta on 329 Nelson Street. I don't know where that is. They're also available in Target. I have a Target near where I work. I'm going to go in there and check it out, see if they got it in there. If they ain't got it in there, I'm going to raise a ruckus. I'm not going to raise a ruckus. I'm not. I don't have the hairline to raise a ruckus. I don't think I do. I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, if you also look at the shop, they've got apparel, they've got tea boxes, teaware, gift cards. So yeah, I definitely was looking at the teas, obviously. Wish they had a purple one. Just saying. But I love it. They've got tees, they've got leggings, they got drawers. I did not know they had drawers. Or are those just shorts? They kind of look like drawers. I don't know, but they got a fanny pack? Damn, really? They got the tote. They got everything for everyone. I think it's incredible, amazing. I absolutely loved it. If I were to have a photo shoot, this would be one of the places I would do it. I would do it at Brooklyn Tea, Everyone Comics, and Melba's. I would be all around the city that day doing a photo shoot. But this place had a really nice vibe to it. You can actually sit inside. There's a nice drinking area. They have tea tastings as well. They had a wall full of different teas. They had some that were all ready to go, or they actually will make the pouches up for you fresh. Mine were made fresh. It took them maybe 30 minutes or so like that. But it was the fact that it was the time and the care, and I gave them the trust, and they did an amazing job with it, and I absolutely loved it. So I will be ordering from them. Like I said, I go to work tomorrow, so I'm going to check this out and check out the tea, because the tea was teeing. It doesn't make any sense. So here's what they're like. So as you can see, I got the ashwagandha, like I said, because of anxiety. And I also got the Rubio chai because I enjoy chai. They're like Ziploc bags, are like resealable Ziploc bags, but with the cool logo. And when you, I swear, when she opened it up, when she had it, because actually let me try it. They had like little teapots at the counter. I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to try that. Tried it, and she's like, oh yeah, you can open. And she opened up the tea box and smelled it. I swore, I was like, I turned to Tony Baker. I was like, oh, that's pure. That's pure. That's pure. That's pure. That's pure. It was amazing, and I absolutely loved it. That's what's in here right now. I have the chai, and it's amazing. So Brooklyn tea, that I want. Like I said, there's one in Brooklyn and one in Atlanta. But check out Target as well. Check them out. See if they got it there. If they don't, maybe you got the hairline to raise a ruckus. I don't have the hairline to raise a ruckus. I don't. I don't. Those days are far gone, folks. Those days are far gone. So let's get to the bleak perspective before we go. It matters. It all matters. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's how you'll feel, but it matters. The episode, this title is Quality, Not Quantity. Quality, not quantity. It's not how many people you have in your life, but it's the quality of people that you have in your life and how they hit you, how they affect you. Everyone nowadays is concerned about numbers and likes and shares and subscribes. I know I'm always harping about that. I'm the old man yelling at the sky, shaking his fist. But it's true. This week has been ridiculous. We had, just because of the things that have happened, we had a man shot. Well, no, there's a man who was shot in like daylight in New York. Was it the CEO of United Healthcare? He was shot a couple of days before, I believe, or maybe that day or the day after. Blue Cross Blue Shield was saying that they would not give you anesthesia for the entirety of your procedure, whatever your procedure we're having. You wouldn't get anesthesia for the whole thing. There was a time limit of how much or how long you would be able to get anesthesia. That's crazy. Because the rich are the rich, and they don't learn until somebody puts a foot up their ass. Don't. I am not condoning uh, uh, shootings or murders or anything. Obviously, I'm not condoning that. But you begin to understand why people revolt. Because it's just not fair. You have all this quantity, but you will give none of it away to make the quality of our lives better. And we also have a president-elect who, when you think about it, is actually as American as apple pie. If he doesn't epitomize the American dream, I don't know what does. And the true American dream. Let's not go with the one that they feed you with. Give us your poor, your tired, your huddled masses yearning to be free. There were a lot of masses that were yearning to be free, but y'all had them in chains picking cotton. So, I mean, what you want me to tell you about that one? And as my anger is rising at this, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, healthcare, this country doesn't do it right. There's a lot of people out there who don't have healthcare, who are struggling physically and mentally, and don't have healthcare, and their bodies are fighting against them. I see a post from David F. Walker, one of my favorite writers, immensely nice guy, sweetheart. Jeez, guy's so great. Just one of the nicest people that I love seeing him at a con and going, oh, I love your book. I love this. Love this. Great. Puts up a post and says that a dear sweet person had died, passed, crossed over, whatever term you choose to use. And it was M Shy is always the sharpest blade in any situation. You are a blade so black, and I enjoy that about you. Well, let's not say event, but you know what? That gives a bad name to vampires, and some vampires are wonderful. Um, Insurance people and and that ilk are the ones that are Like vampires go, hey, don't put me in with that group. So like you were saying, yes, he said it. This person died, um, Jen, but she was known on socials and everything like that as comics will break your heart. Um, I had the pleasure of speaking to her a few times, like online, everything about comics, and it was just always so fun and amazing. And I will admit to this, she had a better uh, t-shirt armory than I did. She had better tees than I did, and I do not say that lightly, but she did. And she was a big fan of Dune. I remember being in Barnes and Nobles. I took a picture because they had a display for Dune. I think Dune 2 just came out, and they had a display with all the books. And I took a picture. And I was like, I saw this, and I immediately thought of you. And she's like, "Oh my God, thank you." I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And a ways back, she said she had cancer. And yes, I know we can all say F cancer. Yes, 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 we can. And you have a right to say it. And I was like, damn. And she fought so hard and graciously and still talking about comics and reading and she passed this week. And again, it made me think it's not the quantity, but the quality of the people that you know, that you speak to, that you just deal with. That's what's important. Quantity, numbers, all that BS. Oh, I have this many followers. Yeah. Okay. I don't have a large following. I don't. I got like -5 people that follow me. And that's fine because I get people who will say, "Hey, I love the show that you just had. Really dig this comic. I gotta check that out. I gotta talk to this." Or I have when somebody goes, "Hey, I saw the food that you had on the show. I gotta go there like next month." Or in my personal life, which I definitely have started to take that practice more and more and more, it is the quality, not the quantity. Because the people who have gotten out of my life were about were about quantity, not quality. And I'm at a good place now with that. I believe in that. In all things you do, it should be quality, not quantity, whether it is the food that you eat, whether it is the people you have in your life, whether it's the clothes on your back, whether it is the set. Well, you can have a good quantity of quality sex. I can't. No, let's not. Now let's not talk crazy. Let's not talk crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and it makes me think that quality, not quantity, it matters. It does matter, folks. And now someone else is gone. Tell people you care. Tell people you love them. Tell people how much they matter because we are not here forever, despite what we want to believe. We are not here forever. But what I will say, as always, folks, and yes, I'm sure. Yes, yes. Daywalkers are people too. They are people too. I'm going to say this as I always do. It is. It is. And you are one of those people, Am Shy. I truly appreciate you and all your musings and your ridiculous sense of humor and everything. I always appreciate it. So what I will say is this, folks, as I always try to end every show with this, keep turning those pages because your story is not over yet. It matters. You matter. Tell your story. Have fun. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy whatever it is. And there will be more jokes next show, I promise. I'll talk about my inept sex life and dating aptitude. And I'll talk some more about my hairline that does not exist anymore. Or possibly how hair has moved to my back. Actually, I'm not going to talk about that. Y'all have a very good evening. Be blessed and be safe. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.